This week, we talk about the power of music, storytelling, and how music just speaks. Hi, guys. Thanks for checking out this week's musician interview. I have Trevor Dennis. He's a local BC musician. Thanks for coming out,
Thanks
Trevor.
for having me, Dan.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so you're playing in the country music scene, jamming, and writing awesome tunes.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm glad you could come out, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, Dan. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, man. So just to give an idea of what you've been up to, maybe you want to introduce yourself and tell a little bit of your background.
Sure, man. Yeah. So my name's Trevor Dennis. Obviously, I'm the frontman for Rockin Chair country band. Find us at rockinchair.ca on Facebook. Been doing it for a lot of years. Traveled Western Canada quite extensively over the last 6-7 years. Lived in Nashville for a year. That was pretty awesome. Got to meet some good writers and song people down there. Got to play some good showcases. So music's just kind of been around my whole life. I grew up with it as a kid. My grandparents always played around, and my parents and my sisters and my cousins. It's a pretty musical family, and music's just been a great power for all of us. And it's a healer. It's a great way to help get through your day. And music's there to heal people. It's a great thing.
Nice, man. Yeah, so you play the guitar and you sing, and what do you play any other instruments? Or are those your main instruments? You started out on those? Or?
I mean, mostly, yeah. I mean, I was always a singer growing up, right? So I mean, I just karaoke kind of guitars through shower, whatever people do, right? And then I didn't really take back in when I was 15, 16 years old, I ended up moving down here, and I met a guy named Tyler Mithrush, and we started just jamming in the basement, they were looking for a bass player, and I told him I could play bass and I could sing, and I'd never picked up a bass guitar in my life. So we got to rehearsal, and I was like, where do I go from here, right? So the fortunate part was I could actually kind of sing a little bit. So he kind of showed me a little bit of chord technique and stuff on the bass guitar, and I kind of fumbled through. So we just started jamming for, a year or so, and then I ended up moving back to Quesnel, and that music kind of left for a bit. And then I was injured in 2004 when I was 19, and music kind of came back after that point. I had another buddy, Rockin Chair, and he got a guitar for Christmas, and I had one sitting in the room, and it's been all dusted over and stuff, and hadn't been played in years. And he kind of said, "Hey, man, let's kind of learn some music together," and so we did, and started a band called Legs and Wheels at that time. Yeah. And it was Quesnel, Prince George kind of based, and we did lots of gigging around there and stuff, and it just kind of kept progressing, and eventually, I took an opportunity to go and cut some of my own music and started this Rockin Chair project with Tyler, and we've been full forward ever since. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, and so what really drives your art? You have so many different things behind, the musical family. You said you had your accident, and then growing from that. And then also just meeting these great people in each city, and going through, traveling around, meeting good friends.
Oh, absolutely. And
what really drives your art? And
for me, it's a therapy more than anything, to be honest with you. I mean, music, as I said earlier, heals. It's music was brought around back when it first started coming for healing, and for when people have times that they need therapeutic stuff, right? I mean, music, you turn on music, you have a bad day, it gets people through. It's moody. It's might not always be the song you want it to be, but at the end of the day, that's why you can pick your own songs these days, right? There's so many stuff, but for me, it's just sharing what I believe in, and there's nothing better than being up on a stage or in front of a few people, and I'm sharing your music and having that accepted, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And so what does your art mean to you? You're able to take all of this and give it to other people and have them accept it and give them some of that therapy. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, what do you feel towards music and get out of it?
Oh, it's my life, man. Yeah. I mean, there's not a minute that goes by every day that music's not on my brain, and whether it's just even driving over here, get pumped up. You just crank up a good song. You get into that song. You find, and music is so strange because you can listen to a song 100 times, and then you listen to it at 101st time, and you'll find something totally new from that song that you didn't hear before. You know what I mean? It's just, it's so intricate at some parts, and it's just awesome. But for me, the biggest thing is I just want to spread my story, man, and just kind of let people know that that at the end of the day, everyone goes through obstacles every day, and regardless of those obstacles, you just got to keep pushing and find something that you love doing. And music is, like I said, it's been a therapy for me since my accident. It's just done things that I could never explain it to do or expect to do.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, you talk about therapy and talk about just storytelling. Like, what do you hope the audience gets from sharing your music and when they listen to it, or when they come home from a gig or from listening to a CD or single?
Well, for me, I mean, the live stuff is obviously sharing music, but when everyone comes into a live show, for us, our biggest thing is entertainment. And we want to make sure that everyone's at that gig that feels like they're part of it. You know, there's a lot of shows you can go to that musicians are great, right? But I mean, it's just energy-wise. I mean, for us, we try and engage the crowd. We try and engage the audience. We want to make sure that we're there with them. They're there with us. You know what I mean? It's not like we're separate.
Yeah.
And that's a real big thing for entertainment-wise that I think needs to happen when you're putting music on live. As far as recorded stuff and writing, for us, we try and stay true to. I mean, music has changed so much over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at. I mean, I'm an old school guy, so I mean, I like George Jones, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, all those, Johnny Cash, all those old guys, and I do like the new stuff too. But I just find that in the new stuff, a lot of the things that have happened with music is the storytelling has gotten lost, and that's kind of where music came from, right? I mean, it's all changed. I mean, you get the. I'm not knocking new music by any means, or new country or anything, but it just seems to me that the story has been lost in a lot of new music, which is fine. It's brought a new audience and it's broadened the spectrum for especially country music and stuff. But for me, there's times where you need to relate that story and you need to dig deep and people go through hurt and pain and love and everything on a daily basis, right? And you have to channel those inner emotions to speak. And just because as a writer you may not have been through that personally yourself, but maybe one of your friends has or somebody has, and that's the thing with music is if the story is kept there, and I think it can like I said, it heals, man. It's music's a great power all on its own.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, just the storytelling and then connecting people when it comes live.
Yeah, you know.
That's great, man. Yeah, and just I guess like the human condition and all of this sort of stuff, and just also having a great time doing it.
Oh, yeah, well, we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it, right? I mean, to me, it's, like I said, when you're up on stage and there's a crowd, engaging in what you're doing and spending their hard-earned dollars on a Friday or Saturday or Thursday or whatever night it might be, that says a lot. They're coming out. They don't have to be there. They're there because they want to be. They're spending their hard-earned money, and it's really rewarding as an artist, what I mean, just to see that and have that opportunity. So
absolutely. And like growing up, you've had a lot of things that have outgrown your story.
Absolutely.
And gone through a lot of your own different times where you were looking at growing or maybe even moving. Moving is a big thing a lot of the time, and traveling, meeting new people. Yeah. And out of this sort of thing, you're an awesome, positive guy.
Well,
what I'm asking is, with what attitude might you recommend, like up and coming musicians or students approach music that maybe you've learned from?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, first and foremost, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
I mean, music can be frustrating, especially when you're first starting to learn. I mean, you probably remember too, you're a musician as well, right?
Yeah.
First time you pick something up and you're trying to learn, you're probably thinking, what the heck am I doing here? It's a very lengthy process to learn, finger positioning and timing and then you try and sing when you're trying to learn an instrument, and I mean it can be a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
But the thing with music, and for everybody else that's getting into it and that wants to maybe make something happen or just have it there for themselves, I mean, do it because you love it and do it because you feel it. Don't there's so many things in life that people, like some jobs, for instance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying music's going to pay you well if you want to do it, but that's why I'm saying you have to love it, because there's some jobs you can go to and hate every day and they pay good money. Whereas sometimes music, you love it so much that the wage doesn't matter, right? It's not about that. It's about you as a person. It's about how you connect with people, and it's about getting that emotion across, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I think one cool sort of story that comes from my running the music school and also just being involved in music is I get to see not only professional musicians, but also a lot of people who are hobbyist musicians.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting to see them come in from the first day and sort of grow from having no idea where they're at.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I've sort of been really connecting to recently as well is that some people, they come in and before doing music, maybe their life is sort of crappy.
Yeah,
you know?
no,
Like
absolutely.
maybe they don't like their job or they're married to the wrong person.
Honestly, story of nowadays, I mean, that's
right?
a big story, right?
And like I've had some students who come in and they find out these things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say any specifics,
but no pointing fingers here.
No,
come on.
But they come in and they get super excited on life, and they get inspired to live again and to go towards something that they like. Maybe they even take up music for, let's say, 6 months and then they stop. But that's because they found what they really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And
it's a gateway, right? Like
yeah.
it can be such a channeling gateway that
exactly
open doors.
And then just being inspired and working towards whatever it is, whether it's music or something else, or if you find that through learning music.
Absolutely.
You know? So I think that's really exciting, man.
It's awesome. And that's awesome you're doing that because, I mean, for you, I mean, you get to see the whole process of a new, you know, a new artist coming all the way up, right?
Yeah.
And it's probably really rewarding for you because you get to pass on your knowledge. I mean, you've been around for a while as well, right? So that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more of that going on.
It's cool, man.
So all you guys out there, keep the music going.
Absolutely.
Listen to this guy.
Listen to this guy too. Yeah, you have a show coming up soon, and also Trevor and I are chatting about possibly doing a session where hopefully we'll be coming out with that pretty soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And releasing that on the channel. And so yeah, like just growing through all these different things. And is there any story in particular that really connected you and brought you towards getting so inspired to go towards music? Or just a multitude?
I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, to me, music's just been around for a long time, and it. I mean, I still, you know, I still like this Christmas. I was back home in Quinn for Christmas with the family, and I had the grandparents singing, and they're doing their thing, and it's so humbling and honoring to see, you know, that my grandparents, they're singing, and my grandparents down here, they still play and sing, and I mean, my dad, my uncles, my mom, you know, my sisters. It's a family thing, and music can tie people so tight together, and it can connect two strangers that have never met each other, but the power of a song is so powerful. You know what I mean? It speaks to so many people in different kinds of volumes, and for me, I mean, it's just spreading that
That's
music
awesome.
and sharing it with everybody, right?
Yeah, and then so like in writing and storytelling, and then also when you get to the stage, you talk about how it can connect people together. As artists are coming up, they sort of grow their stage presence a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to chat a little bit about how you've sort of been able to bring people together from the frontman position?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I've watched a lot of live artists, whether it be on YouTube or live or whatever, and every time I go to a show, I try and take something from that show to add to mine. And it doesn't matter the genre or style of music, it's an entertaining factor, right?
Yeah.
So for me, we always try to engage the audience. I mean, my guitar players be bouncing off the speakers, off the subs, you know, on the dance floor, and I'll engage people. I'll get people singing words back to us, and it's just about being there together, and it's about enjoying that time that you're together with all the people that are, like I said, they spend their hard-earned money and they come out and they don't have to be there with you. They choose to be. So I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make sure that they want to come back and their experience is good, right? It's like going to Playland or wherever, and you buy a ticket for the roller coaster, and it parks halfway through. You know, It's like, what the heck? You want that thrill, you want that excitement of the ride, right? So,
absolutely, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's cool. So, thank you guys for checking out this week's interview, and I'm sure we'll see more of Trevor. You know, he's in the Vancouver and also BC music scene, especially in country music. You know. Played the country music awards after party last year and nominated for what was the
Country Club Act of the Year, and we've had a few other good things happen with us over music. Like I said, we spent some time in Nashville, and we toured Western Canada for 6 years, kind of thing. And it's been a good ride, and you know, it's not done yet.
Yes, you'll see more of this guy. So check him out, Trevor Dennis. And we'll add some links below. And thanks for checking out this week's musician interview.
Take care, guys.